everybody, it's Emily at ARG Schooling, and today I'm going to be doing my October TBR. So I have my trusty TBR jar. Let me give it a good shake, and we're going to see what we end up with. I had a pretty good choice last month, and I'm really hoping, desperately hoping, that I get something spooky. So let's see what happens. Do our picks. I'm going to pick two cards like usual, and we'll see. Choice number one. You get in here really good. Choice number two. Okay, I always pick two so I can decide. I like to have choices. Okay, let's see what I'll be reading this month. This first one is Get Medieval. So I have lots of medieval historical, which I actually, I'm really tempted by that one, but I also don't know if I have time. Those are all pretty hefty. Let's see, Nightworms. Oh, okay. I kind of have to go with this one. I'm sorry, medieval fiction, you will have to wait, because I have thrillers. So it's not the horror that I was hoping, but I can work with thrillers. That's the right vibe for October. So okay, I'm gonna go pick my TBR. We're gonna talk about it when I come back, and yeah, let's decide on some spooky thrillers for October. Okay, I have collected some books, so I have quite a few things here to talk about, but let's just start with the book that we'll be reading together for October. This is our last book club selection for 2023, and I'm really excited that we're going to end the year, I hope, on a really high note. And we're going to be reading Grady Hendrix's newest book, How to Sell a Haunted House. I love Grady Hendrix. He's one of my favorite writers. So much fun every single time. I think his books are just the perfect mix of fun and quirky with being really creepy. This is a haunted house story. I believe it is about siblings who have come home after a parent has died and they have to pack up the house and get it ready to sell. But the house does not wish to be sold. So I think this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to read it this month. So if you want to join me, it doesn't matter that this is the last book of the year, you can jump in still. So we read a book together every month with the ARG Booked Book Club, and we talk about it in real time on my Discord, which I will share that link with you if you're interested. Just let me know. And then the first Saturday of the following month, we have a live discussion here on my channel to talk about our thoughts and what we thought about the book. So super excited for that. Now, I have some things that I did not get to in September that I'm still hoping to make happen. I have the two books that I didn't get to for my reading challenge. I'm still 2 prompts away from completion, so I'm hoping to make that happen. I have Gold Mountain by Betty G. Yee. This is historical fiction about the gold rush and Chinese Americans and their contributions to American society. I think it might have to do with the Transcontinental Railroad too, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But I know for sure that it's about Chinese immigration in the United States in the turn of the century, late 1800s, somewhere in there. Then I have The Dead and the Gone. This is by Susan Beth Pfeffer, and it is the second book in the Life as We Knew It series. This is going to be my natural disaster book. Oh, I didn't say that Gold Mountain is my book with a element in the title. And this is going to be my natural disaster book. So this one is the second book, like I said, and basically what happens is an asteroid hits the moon gets too close to Earth, and it just throws everything into chaos. And the first book is set in a suburban neighborhood, and it's kind of a quiet apocalyptic story. This one's set in a city, so I'm really curious to see what that looked like. I'm still working on this one. I started it, had to set it down to do other things. I'm hoping to pick it back up in October. This is The Witch of Woodland. This is by Laurel Snyder, and I made it about, I don't know, a quarter of the way, a third of the way into the story before I had to DNF for a minute. Not because I wasn't liking it, just I had other things that were a priority. This is a story about a girl who is Jewish, but like not very religious, and her family's making her have a bat mitzvah, which she just doesn't understand the purpose of, and she's also discovering some witchy abilities. So this is like a witch story, but make it Jewish. Then I still really wanted to get to both of these arcs before they come out. I'm running out of time. I have Courage to Dream by Neal Shusterman, which is a Holocaust portal fiction graphic novel. I'm not exactly sure how to describe this. I'm gonna have to read it and talk about it after, but I do think it has something to do with portal fiction. I think that it's about like Jewish children in the Holocaust finding a way to like get themselves to safety, or find some way to like find hope, that kind of a thing. Then I wanted to read This Indian Kid by Eddie Chocolate. This is a middle grade memoir, and it's indigenous, and so I just think this is going to be I love middle grade memoirs. It's one of my favorite things. I just really hope that I enjoy this. Now, let's talk about the things that I've chosen for my thrillers. I have many. I don't know what I'm actually going to read. I'm not going to read all of these because that would just, I'm not a superhuman. I can't do that. But I want to read all of them, so I'm giving myself options. So I have some thrillers here. Now, to be fair, I own a lot of thrillers, but I don't always like them. I feel like my problem with thrillers is that they lean just this shy, like so close to being horror without being horror. Like so many times I've been disappointed that it seemed like it was going in a supernatural direction and then it didn't. So, all that being said, these are the thrillers I had on my shelves that I'm the most interested in reading right now. I have Spectacle. This is by Jodi Lyn Zrak, and this is a story that is historical. It is set in 1887 in France, and we are following a girl who writes up the editorials or something like that in the newspaper for the morgue. So she's writing about dead people in the newspaper. So we got a morbid girl. I love a morbid girl in any kind of story. And the newspaper gets a letter about a murder, but it's written from the murderer's perspective. And so now we're on like this whole Jack the Ripper murder mystery thing, but it's set in France, so not Jack the Ripper. But it's got like those same kind of feelings to it. It's a Jack the Ripper vibes kind of story. So, sounds intriguing. I'm curious. My favorite thriller I think I've ever read by far was by Sarah Waters, and it was Fingersmith. I've been like chasing that feeling for so long. Like I want that book, but I want to read something new. So I went through I've been buying all of Sarah Waters' stuff, and I haven't read most of it, so I'm going to try to read Affinity. This is the one I feel fits this time of year the best. We are following a woman who does like seances and stuff, I think. Okay, no, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. We're following a woman who is visiting prisons to talk to the prisoners, and she meets this one prisoner who is like a spiritualist, and she gets caught up in this net of weirdness. I don't really know what I'm talking about. So this sounds like a good time to read this. It feels like a good October story. Next, I have Cold. This is by Mariko Tamaki, and this is a murder mystery, I think. I don't really know. It says it's atmospheric, which is why I think I bought it, because I'm always looking for a really good atmospheric story. This one is about a boy who died and a girl that's trying to figure out what happened. I don't really know more than that. It's a YA thriller, so I'm not expecting a lot, but I'm hopeful. I have Never Saw Me Coming. This is by Vera Curlin, and I think this one is about psychopaths. Is about a program at some college where they're studying psychopaths and psychopathic behavior, and so we're following a psychopath who is trying to solve a murder or a series of murders or something like that done by a psychopath, and using their own psychopathic mind to kind of figure it out. So it sounds like it has potential. This is the last book, and it's the one I am the most likely to pick up this month. I feel like it's the one I'm the most curious about, and that is the newest Riley Sager. This is the only one left, and I've been really intrigued. I've only read one Riley Sager, did not love it, but didn't hate it. It was just very okay. So I'm really curious to see what I think of this one. We're following a woman who is working at this manor house, and the elderly woman she's like a caretaker for is a sole survivor of a massacre or something like that, and they think she's the one that did it, and she's going to tell her story. Weird things are going to happen. It's set in the 80s, which I think is going to make this a fun time. Yeah, I don't know. I'm so curious about this one. I really want to love it. I mean, I bought it. So if I bought it, I have high hopes. So those are all the things that I'm hoping to read in the month of October. We're also going to be starting Lord of the Rings as our read aloud in October, which I'm very excited about because my youngest has never read the books. We're going to be listening to Andy Serkis read us the story via audiobook, and I'm so excited for that. So that is another thing that we're going to be doing in October. And yeah, I just have good feelings about my reading month. Also, in my quest to read Sadie Hartman's recommendations, I'm going to be reading haunted house books, because I'm already going to be reading this one, which she recommends in that book. So I felt like it was a good time to read other ones. I don't have physical copies, though, of any of those books. I either own them as audiobooks, ebooks, or from the library. So I don't have anything to show for that, but I will be reading some spooky haunted house books this month as well. So lots of reading plans. So many reading plans. I'm reading all the things. So thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give me a like and a subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know down below in the comments what books you plan to read in the month of October. What spooky things are you getting into for this time of year? Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Happy reading. Bye.